From our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Peter Murphy begins now.
Begging to gain money will no longer be a criminal act in Tasmania following years of campaigning from the Greens. Previously, those caught begging could have been fined up to $975 or 6 months in prison. The changes passing the Legislative Council today, with the Greens saying it's been a long time waiting.
Because there is no excuse in a modern and wealthy society to be criminalising poverty.
Tasmania now joining the ACT, New South Wales and Western Australia, who've also decriminalised begging. The independent board responsible for awarding community grants has come under fire over its decision to award over $500,000 towards the Yes campaign for an Indigenous voice to federal Parliament. The group refutes the report's findings, with some calling for the board to be held accountable.
Not mincing his words, the Auditor-General condemning a decision by the Tasmanian Community Fund, or TCF, from early last year, when it issued a $557,000 grant to an organisation affiliated with the Yes campaign for the referendum.
We found that the TCF had failed to adequately document the considerations that they've gone through and undertake appropriate risk management and matters around conflict of interest.
The report tabled in Parliament today states the TCF did not consider the political context of its decision.
The risks are around public confidence in the decision-making process at the TCF.
The group refutes all findings delivered in the report, claiming they are confident the grant met expectations and that it was purely for educational purposes.
The TCF has awarded over 3,200 grants in its 20 years, and it has a way of doing its work. It's rigorous, it's professional.
Minister for Community Services, Roger Jensch, says the government does not endorse nor approve grants given for political purposes and will consider changes to the law.
How the government now responds to rein in what effectively is an organisation, sadly, that has become activist is very important.
It was not a political decision. It was a decision made for an educational purpose and for the best interests of the Tasmanian community.
With calls for immediate action against the group.
And the TCF board need to accept these findings, accept responsibility and consider their future as a result. They've got a lot of explaining to do, and frankly I don't think they'll be able to get out of this one.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmanian News.
A Wynyard man has been charged with rape and child sex offences following a targeted investigation on the state's northwest. The 20-year-old is accused of initiating contact with a child on social media before arranging to meet them in person where the alleged offences took place. He appeared before a Burnie magistrate today and has been remanded in custody until his next appearance on August 29. A $1.6 billion project to upgrade and modernise Hydro Tasmania's network has been announced. Supported by the state government, it allows the company to make major refurbishments across 10 power stations and 5 dams. The CEO says this will lead to improved responses to demand fluctuations.
It also gives us a life ahead, so this is about investing in assets for another 30, 40, 50 years of safe, reliable generation.
Hydro says the investment is in addition to the $100 million of operational costs. Hobart's waters have been greeted to a rare sight, with the Spirit of Tasmania 1 docking in the capital for the first time in 2 decades. The vessel is undergoing maintenance and will remain in port for the next 4 days before returning to Devonport. The Spirit of Tasmania 1 first visited Hobart in July 2002 when she was acquired to replace the original Spirit of Tasmania. A Tasmanian charity aiming to inspire and empower women into finding employment and financial independence is struggling as demands reach an all-time high. Dress for Success is now calling for government and community funding as well as volunteers to continue helping women in need.
Providing a big boost in confidence. That's just one part of the mantra of Tasmanian charity Dress for Success when helping women enter the workforce.
We need to be able to be here to support women at the most crucial times of their lives when they're trying to overcome hurdles and barriers to employment.
It provides economic independence, support networks and professional attire for them.
We know that they deeply appreciate what we do.
but it's been stretched to its limits, struggling to meet ever-growing demand.
So we're really calling on a commitment from the community, from corporate partners and from the government at a local and state level to really get behind the work we do here at Dress for Success.
Since expanding its operations in the north and northwest earlier this year, they've seen a 43% jump in women accessing the programs, their services proving vital.
Of the women that we've seen in this past year, 37% of them are now reporting that they have increased their paid working hours. That's either from part-time work to full-time work or from not employed at all to employed.
But there's major concerns about its future, the organisation saying it's no longer able to survive off yearly grants.
We are nervously awaiting security of funding.
The charity is issuing an urgent plea for more volunteers to help soaring demand. Tasmanians with an eye for fashion are encouraged to donate their time, hoping to keep their program alive.
We are turning lives around. We want to keep doing that for the long term.
Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7, Tasmanian News.
Young Tasmanians had important conversations in Parliament House to address ways to tackle youth homelessness. They joined industry leaders and politicians in calling for more to be done on local and state levels to solve the issue.
Youth homelessness is on the rise. Targeted plan is vital for young people.
We're really tired of having band-aid measures on homelessness. They need, integrated support. They need mental health support. They need support to re-engage with education.
It's hoped the talks will drive meaningful action in safeguarding the next generation. One of the biggest names in ballroom has touched down in Tasmania, ready to be razzled and dazzled by some of the nation's best performers. The internationally renowned star is preparing his judging paddle ahead of this weekend's Open Dance Sport Championships.
He's been called the Roger Federer of the ballroom world, and now he's bringing his magic moves back to Launceston.
The love and passion of dance. I think it's so amazing that dance can live all over the world, even all the way down here in Launceston.
9-time world Latin American champion Brian Watson won't be waltzing onto stage this weekend, instead lending a famous face to the judging panel, as well as guiding dancers through a series of workshops.
He is the GOAT, he's the greatest of all time. All the couples just gain so much knowledge and inspiration from him.
It's amazing. We don't get this opportunity in Australia very much at all because we are so far away from everything else in the world. So yeah, it's huge for us.
Putting in hours of hard work in the studio before 300 dancers bring the glitz and the glamour to the Silver Dome.
We've got grassroots competitors competing for the first time, the newest of the newest beginners, right through to the top professional couples.
Showcasing the best of ballroom, the Tasmanian Open Dance Sport Championships is ready to sparkle.
Everyone loves it, people tears in their eyes, people on their feet clapping. Yeah, it's wonderful to be a part of.
The best of the best will take to the stage this weekend, hoping to inspire more people to take up the cha-cha. I'm told practice makes perfect.
Biggest, brightest smiles on the floor, because for me, we all start dancing because we love dancing.
Victoria Risto, 7 Tasmania News.
It might still be winter, but organisers have their eyes firmly set on the return of a major summer festival. The hunt is officially on for 80 local stallholders prepared to dish up some of the state's best produce for this year's Taste of Summer in Hobart.
Really showcase what Tasmania is all about, which is beautiful wine, craft beers, lots of seafood, lots of beautiful beef, and Tasmania's fantastic berries and fruits.
Basically, it's just a really good opportunity to actually show the Hobart community, what we're sort of very, very passionate about.
The festival is also putting the casting call out for local performers and entertainers who are eager to join the iconic event. Applications close on September 15. An Australian Maritime College student will soon be winging her way to America as part of a prestigious NASA program. The marine engineering student is hoping to apply cutting-edge space science to climate problems faced here on Earth.
Lucy Barr is reaching for the stars. The AMC student is one of just 5 Indigenous Australians selected to join NASA for a 10-week internship.
I'm very excited. I never really expected to actually get in when I applied.
Aimed at improving the rates of First Nations peoples in the STEM fields, the project pairs students up with the best in their field at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab in California, where they'll work at the cutting edge of science and technology.
We're extremely proud of Lucy. I think it's an amazing achievement and we're really excited to be able to see her go.
Lucy's work won't be based in space, just using tech that's literally out of this world.
NASA has a lot of Earth-based projects. They just get less press because it's not what people expect from them.
The International Space Station collects data on dust movements around the planet, crucial to mapping climate change effects.
I'm really interested in climate change and what's causing it exactly, and how we're monitoring and tracking it to actually know how to slow it down or reverse it.
Particularly as an undergraduate, the opportunity to see the leading edge of a particular area of science, in this case climate change science, is just an amazing opportunity for any young student.
Lucy jets off to America early next month. The talented Tasmanian proving the sky's not the limit. Annie Green, 7 Tasmania News.
North Hobart will see more medium-density dwellings built in the coming decades, according to a draft plan for the area now open for public feedback. The plan also supports a revitalisation of the restaurant strip, including wider footpaths for pedestrians and outdoor dining.
It's a fantastic plan that goes back a long time. There's been a lot of consultation over the years, a lot of research, a lot of analysis.
In recent years, we've really started to think strategically about the future and design the kind of city that we and the community wants to see, rather than just letting things happen to us.
The community can provide feedback through an online survey up until the end of the month.
Glenorchy's Australia Cup campaign is over. Unable to match the ferocity of Northwest Sydney Spirit as they're eliminated with a 3-0 loss in the round of 32.
I just want to say thank you to the players. The road to get here wasn't an easy one and they were sensational, and I think they were sensational again today.
Attention now turns to defending their position atop the NPL Tasmania ladder. Rather than fly to the UK for the winter, Gai Bell spent the off-season doing his honours in civil engineering. But the only thing he'll be building this year is building on his career-best 42-wicket Shield season. First, though, a pre-season T20 comp, flying up to Darwin today with a squad full of fresh faces.
Very much looking forward to it. It's a great opportunity to get outdoors in the middle of our winter and play some good cricket. The other lists look pretty strong, so it's going to be good to play some nice competitive cricket.
The first game's against Adelaide on Saturday. Canberra have a shot at avoiding an elimination match in the first week of TSL finals if they can steal Clarence's spot at number 2 on the ladder. And to do that, they need to beat the Roos this weekend. Either way, the Tigers coach isn't concerned. This is, after all, familiar territory for the reigning premiers.
We've got a group that knows what that style of footy is and knows what it takes and knows how to prepare themselves, because, well, the results show that over what we've done over the last couple of years.
North Launceston co-captain Fletcher Bennett will be missing for a second week against Glenorchy, nursing a sprained wrist. A few others will be resting as well as the coach looks ahead.
We have our Devils available this week, so we're some players that are probably a bit sore, they've been carrying a few things over the last couple of weeks, might not play. Our final series begins next week in terms of preparation, so this week's one of those ones where we're just managing and getting through, and then we'll have a good 4-week blocking to lead up to the first.
Lauderdale player coach Alan Christensen says his body's holding up well after his return to playing on the weekend. They face Launceston on Saturday. 2 Tasmanians are off to the AFL State Draft Combine in Melbourne. 17-year-old Ollie Dean from North Launceston in the TSL and the Devils and Allies making it to the 62-man list, alongside North Hobart's Nathaniel Salzberger, who's been playing for Sandringham in the Talent League. After 3 podiums this supercar season, 2-time Bathurst winner Will Davison believes Simmons Plains will deliver his team's first victory for the year. Claiming pole last round in Sydney, Davison and team are hitting their stride, ready to strike next week at the always unpredictable Tasmania Super Sprint.
We're still all learning, finicking, getting frustrated by this car and learning what makes it tick. It's going to be cold down there. It's going to create lots of challenges for the teams, the drivers, how we strategise our preparation into qualifying. And I'm excited about it.
He's currently 6th in the standings. Good evening. Minimum temperatures were 1 to 5 degrees above average today. Hobart 15, Launceston, Devonport and Burnie all 14 degrees. Flinders Island, Ouse and Strawnall 16, 15 for King Island, Smithton and St Helens. Low Head and Grove 14, 13 for Friendly Beaches and Marai Island, with Lyowini recording 6 degrees today. A band of mid to high level cloud was seen covering the majority of the state today. This afternoon, a cloud band moved over the southeastern parts of the country, including Tasmania.
Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure will extend over the majority of the country, directing a westerly airstream across the state. West to northwesterly winds 20 to 30 knots, easing 15 to 25 knots about the north and east, with westerly swells building up to 4 metres in the west. A strong wind warning has been issued for all coastal waters statewide tomorrow, to include Banks Strait and Franklin Sound. 15 the common temperature in the south tomorrow for Hobart, Huonville and Campania as we welcome the last day of the working week. Early showers in store for the north, Launceston 15 and 14 the top for Devonport and Georgetown. Partly cloudy in Burnie 14, also 14 the high for Strawn, although easing showers there. Wynyard 15 and partly cloudy. Early showers for St Helens 15, winter sunshine for Swansea 16, 15 and fine also for Port Arthur. We'll check out now what's in store for the weekend. Saturday, morning fog likely in the north, followed by showers about the west, far south, Bass Strait Islands and possibly the northeast. Sunday, light showers about the west and far south. And on Monday, fine after morning fog about the north, with Hobart and Swansea chasing a lovely 18 degrees. It seems spring certainly got the memo and it's well and truly on the way. Across the mainland tomorrow, a wet start for Melbourne with morning showers 17, partly cloudy in Canberra, Adelaide, Sydney and Brisbane, 22 and possible showers for Perth. Hobart cloudy right now, 12 degrees, also cloudy in Launceston with 11 and cloudy for Devonport with 12. You're quite right, Murph, this weather gig is pretty easy.
Yeah, well, I told you so, Kai. We'll see you tomorrow night.